Broadway season was the highest grossing ever recorded, with shows taking in nearly $2 billion. The popularity was driven by blockbusters like Good Night and Good Luck and surprise additions like Purpose, a family drama which grapples with legacy and faith. It's up for 6 Tonys and was written by Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Branden Jacobs-Jenkins. I talked to Jenkins for tonight's interview. Branden, I want to start with a strange question, which is you said, or have said, that the theater is a place for ugly feelings. What does that mean?
Well, I like to think of the theater as like a gym for the emotions. I think in its best iteration of itself, it's where we go to feel things safely that maybe we don't feel safe feeling out in the world, and to also experience each other experiencing those things collectively. So I like to think that, it's where we go to kind of exercise anger, to question our own sense of shame, to hear other people doing the same things. It's about being like a kind of collective around emotional experience.
And physically being in the same space as a person who is going through that shame or
That's
anger
totally
or
right. Yeah, and unlike a movie, the actors are also humans who are alive in front of you. So there's a really interesting kind of back and forth or kind of communication that happens that I find always very moving to witness.
In Appropriate, which I also have seen, as well as Purpose, the family across generations are in both. What is useful about the American family as a way to tell your stories, to explore those feelings?
Well, the family drama is like the most American theatrical drama genre. It's it's sort of the unit in which we're mostly forged as Americans. I think a lot of European drama is set in like a little village, or it's some kind of mythical kingdom in other cultures. But we really somehow think that the family is all we need to kind of talk through the big questions about identity, about history, about belonging, about love, about hate. And I don't know, it's just the thing we love. It's like our favorite pastime, I guess, after baseball. Yeah.
And I don't think this spoils, but there's a key scene around the dinner table.
Yes.
Tell me about where that scene came from. Was it, well, just tell me where that scene came from.
Yeah, it was one of the first scenes I wrote, actually, for whatever reason. I was writing for the Steppenwolf Theater Company, which is like the world's premier acting ensemble, which happens to be in Chicago. And I knew I was going to have these amazing actors, and I knew I needed them to get together in one scene. And the thing about dinner is, you're there because you're hungry.
Yeah.
So, whatever makes you leave has to beat that need. And, I was very inspired by a couple of actors I got to work with. Alana Arenas, one of them, she plays the character of Morgan, and Glenn Davis and Harry Lennox. And they're just such powerhouses. The Chicago style of acting is all about muscular realism. And they're famous for like David Mamet plays and Tracy Letts, August Osage County, that it was always about the battles, the battle royale. And I think that was honestly what I wanted to do. I wanted to create this kind of classic battle scene over dinner, and I think it's working. People seem to like it.
Comedy plays such an important role in your work. Help us understand what role it plays for you as a playwright in carrying out a story.
Yeah. Laughter is such a mystery, right? No one knows why we do it. Yet we do it. And yet people are never more vulnerable or more open than when they're laughing. And especially when you're laughing in a group. And I find that it's a very equalizing experience, no matter who you are, black, white, male, female, old or young. When you're laughing with other people, you somehow are connected in a way that you never are otherwise. And I find that that's just the right moment to kind of insert a thought or an idea or get people to think collectively. So for me, I think of laughter as a unifying event in the same way that we all everyone feels shame about crying, but no one's ever really ashamed of laughing, So I try to celebrate it. Ironically enough, I always think I'm writing like the saddest plays in town, but then I show up and the audiences are cackling. So I'm now just finally dealing with the fact that I might be a comic writer, but you're learning something new every day. Exactly.
Purpose, the name of the play. Where did that come in your journey of writing it?
That's a great question. I actually think it came across in some reading I was doing. I was doing a lot of research around these figures in this era, and I came across the phrase crisis of purpose, which really inspired me. And I started thinking about what that meant, what that word is, all the dimensions of it.
Branden, well, this was a joy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Yeah.
You can watch the 78th Annual Tony Awards on Sunday night at 8 Eastern right here on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.